Hi, welcome back. So let us now continue our discussion of the human power. So in table 23, we can see here the man-hour requirement for various agricultural operations. So the data here is the man-hour requirement per hectare. So how many man-hour we need to finish the 1 hectare field. So when we have operation of tillage with hoe, so the tillage we used hoe, we need 100 to 300 man-hour, okay, per 1 hectare. So if the operation is water buffalo plowing flooded soil, so flooded soil usually we usually use this for land preparation of rice planting. So we need 30 to 60 man-hour per hectare to finish the job. Then for water buffalo comb harrowing, 40 to 60. 5 HP power tiller plowing wet soil, we need 20 to 40. 10 HP hydro tiller, 4.4. Broadcasting, this is the fertilizer application manual, we need 3.3 man-hour per hectare. Hand weeding transplanted rice, 120 to 320 man-hour per hectare. Rice, harvesting rice with sickle, 120 to 320 also man-hour per hectare. So if we have data like this, we can now compute for the numbers of persons required to finish the specific job. So here is the formula for the number of persons. So we have number of persons equals the man-hour per hectare. So this is the man-hour per hectare data times the area you are going to the area required, and then the allotted time for that area to finish the job. And then if you have those parameters, then you can now compute how many persons are you going to hire to finish that certain area on that specific time. For example, for problem number 1, 1 hectare of rice farm, so this is our area here, is to be harvested using sickle. So there is a rice farm which needs to be harvested with the use of sickle. So we have a human power there. The farm owner wishes that it can be finished within 1 day. So by the way, when we are on work, particularly on work, when we say 1 day, it is only equivalent for 8 hours per day. So that is the working hour. Do not use 24 hours is equivalent to 1 day when we are talking on working hours. Okay, so 1 day working hours is equal to 8 hours. Okay, so how many persons would be needed to do the job? So again, the farm owner wishes to harvest its palay, 1 hectare field of palay within 1 day or within 8 hours. So how many persons do you think he might hire to finish the job? Okay. So based from our equation, number of persons is equal to man-hour per hectare. So we need the data from table 2.3. So it says here that the operation is harvesting using sickle. So we have here harvesting rice with sickle, 120 to 320. So you can use the range from 120 to 320. So let's assume, or let's for this specific example, let's use 120 man-hour per hectare. So we have here 120 times area. So what is our area? We have 1 hectare rice farm. So we have to write times 1 there. And then all over the time required to finish the job. So the farm owner wishes to finish within 1 day. But when we say working hour, it is always 8 hours per day. So instead of 24 hours, since we don't want, of course, you don't want to work for 24 hours because you need to rest. So our standard working hour is 8 hours. So all over 8, we can now determine the number of persons required. This 15 persons. Okay. So the farm owner needs to hire 15 laborers in order for it to finish the 1 hectare rice farm to be harvested using only sickle. So that is only a basic example wherein we can have a data in order for us to have a basis. How many persons do we need to hire? How many hours do you allot to finish that certain job? And how many laborers do you need to find in order for you to finish that certain area with the specific time you allot? Okay? So, but of course, most of the time, since our farmers are, they do the job maybe half of their life or maybe for the long time. So, most of us didn't compute how many persons, but instead they have the what we call this the tansya, how much persons do they need to hire to finish the job, since they do it for a longer period of time. Okay, so they gain the knowledge based from their experience. Okay. But if you want to have a basis, or you don't know, or you don't have any idea, you can use this equation. Okay, so for other operations, you can now find different textbooks, or maybe if you want to add more operations, maybe you can set an experiment. Okay, maybe you can have an experiment or study, or maybe you can propose it as your thesis, or some researches on your laboratories. Okay, you can now create a base data like this one on the table 2.3. Okay, maybe a range or a specific man-hour per hectare value. Okay. Hi, welcome back to our video. So let me repeat our sample problem number 1 regarding the number of persons required in agricultural operation if you have the data of man-hour per hectare data. Okay, so it says here that on your sample problem number 1 hectare rice farm is to be harvested using sickle. The farm owner wishes to finish the job within 1 day. How many persons would be needed to do the job? So let us now wrote down our given. So our given is, we have area, which is equivalent to 1 hectare. Area is equal to 1 hectare. What else? Using sickle. So farm is to be harvested using sickle. So on table 2.3, man-hour requirement for various tillage operations, we have harvesting rice with sickle is 120 to 320 man-hour per hectare. So let's assume and use 120. Assume. So we have man-hour per hectare. We have 120. Our unit is, of course, 1 hour per hectare. And then what else? If the farm owner wishes to finish the job within 1 day, so we have time is equal to 1 day. But again, it is in terms of working hours. It is not your typical 1 day is equal to 24 hours. But instead, 1 day here is 8 hours per day. Okay. So your equivalent one day here is 8 hours. Cancel out. So for the solution, first is to establish your what do you call this? Establish your formula, which is number of persons. I mean, your required or your unknown is to find how many persons do the owner need to hire in order for the job to be done within one day. Okay. So number of persons is equal to man-hour per hectare, multiply the area in terms of hectare, of course, then divided by the time in terms of hour. Okay, so just plug in all the values. Our man-hour per hectare is 120 man-hour per hectare times our area is 1 hectare, then divide all the values by time. In terms of hour, we have 8 hour. Okay. So from here, you can now cancel out all the units. You have cancel the hour, hectare, then unit that will remain is men. So 120 times 1 divide 8, we have 15. Okay. 120 divide 8, we have 15 men. So number of persons we need to hire is 15 men, or 15 persons, or 15 laborers, in order for us to finish the job of 1 hectare rice farm within 1 day. Okay. Okay, what if the farm owner wishes to finish the job within half day? Kalahating araw, half day. So half day is equivalent to 4 hours. So all you need to do is to change the hour here, divide 4. So how many persons do you need? 120 divide 4, you have 30 persons. Okay. Since this is good for 1 day, of course, expect that it will be doubled to finish the job within half day. So you need to hire 30 persons if you wish to finish the job half day. Okay. So another example, let us now have another example. So problem number 2. If the farm owner would hire 20 people, so instead of writing the problem here, you can now go back to your lecture and read the problem. So this time, let me only wrote down the given values. So for problem number 2, if the farm owner would like to hire 20 people, so the number of person is 20 men to do the harvesting using sickle. So the man-hour per hectare again using sickle is 120 man-hour per hectare. Okay. How many hours would it take to finish the job? So it is in relation to problem 1. Therefore, our area here, area again is 1 hectare. So we are required to find how many hours, time in terms of hours. Okay. If you have 20 men working on 1 hectare field doing the harvesting using sickle, which is, we have the value from the table of man-hour per hectare, which is 120 man-hour per hectare, harvesting using sickle. So we need to find out how much time the job will be done if you have this 20 man within 1 hectare field. Okay, so what is our so for the solution, once again, you need to write the formula for this problem in order for us to calculate how many hours do we need. So number of persons, again, number of persons is equal to man or per hectare times area divided by the time needed. Okay, so this is our main formula, but what we need to determine is what is the value of time there. So all you need to do is to do the algebra to find out the formula for time and hour. So since time and hour is in the denominator, you can cross multiply or multiply both sides by time r. Okay. So what we do for algebra is to move this time hour at the numerator. So we have time or times number of persons is equal to man hour per hectare times area. Okay, you see, we move this time hour on the left side, so we have now your time hour here multiplied to the number of persons. But what we want is to determine only this. So you need to divide both sides by the number of persons. So divide both sides by number of persons. We have time or is equal to man or per hectare, man or times your area, then divided by number of persons. Okay, so from here you move this at the denominator. Okay, it's like that they swap their places. Okay, so time r, our formula for time r is that man r per hectare times area divide number of persons. Okay, so the time needed is, plug in all those value, 100 man r per hectare is 120 man hour per hectare, multiply our area, which is 1 hectare, divided by number of persons, which is 20 man. So as you can see here, you can now easily cancel out man, hectare, and we have the remaining unit of r. So 120 times 1 divide 20, we have 120 divide 20, we have 6 hours. Okay. So if you have 20 laborers doing the harvesting using sickle of 1 hectare field, then it will take about 6 hours to finish the job. Okay. So on the next video, we will now determine what if the unknown is in terms of area. So what will be our formula and how to compute it. So see you on our next video.